Hello everybody, this is JD again. I gotta wear my glasses because right now everything's kind of double vision. Like if you take a 3D TV and you see them without the glasses. Why? Because I'm 68 years old. But this video is not going to be about me. It's going to be about my beliefs. It's these very, very strong beliefs within me. Now, I will admit to anybody, I don't go to church every Sunday. Church is a man-made. But I have this very strong belief in my heart that I feel is very truthful. And what you feel in your heart is truthful. This video is titled, "In God We Trust." And there's a reason for that. Because in God, I do solemnly trust. Now, I'm looking at my Facebook, I'm looking at my tweet, I'm looking at all my other sites. Everybody say, I got to pray to God, pray to God, pray to God, pray to God. Pray all you want. God will show you the answer. He will present to you. The Creator will tell you what He wants, what needs to be done. But notice everything I say, it requires an action from you. That's right. The Creator will open any door for you. But unless you choose to get up off your butt and walk through that door, do the action needed, nothing will ever happen. Nothing. All the prayers in the world, the Creator wants you to hear His words and to follow through, to show your love for Him. He loves you and He will give you anything and everything that you may ever need. But without you going to get it. Look at it this way. Here we are in the countryside. This man who has nothing to eat for several days comes upon this orchard. He sees a farmer out there and says, I have nothing to eat and those apples look very good. Farmer says, take all you want. And then the farmer leaves. Well, the man who was walking, who has nothing to eat, just sits there and looks at the apple trees and says, well, he said I could have all I want. Oh, when am I going to get it? When am I going to get it? Not until he climbs over the fence, which is nothing but a railing fence, wood railing fence, because they look pretty, go into the orchard and pick the apples that he wishes to eat. Will he get the food, the energy, and what he needs? Even he can take some to take with him along his trip, because the farmer said, take what you want. Well, that's the way the Creator works. He hears your prayers, all of you, and how you all are unhappy. And I'm standing before you. I'm saying, trust in God. But you must take the action. You have to pick the apples. You have to go and get them. The Creator, in this case, which was the farmer in the story, gave you permission to have all that you could possibly want. But you have to get them. And that's what's happening right now. The political machines have selected who they wish to be President of the United States. Are you happy with him? Or are you getting a warning? So you sit there and you pray to God for answers. And He's telling you what you need to do. You must take the action. You must walk through the door. You must look for, you'll find, and choose. Do not sit at home or in your church praying for something without doing something. Our Creator loves you. Our Creator cares for you. but he expects you to show him love in return. And by you taking the action he shows you, you show your love. So ask him, pray to him. Let him know you need his guidance. He will give you it, but you must act. That's what trusting God's about. We do our very best that we can do. We ask God for guidance. We do our very best that we can do. And trust in God that we have done the right thing. That's something I solemnly believe in. On anything major, I ask for guidance. Just like I say to you, we can't do this alone. We must do it together. We must unite as a people, as a nation. Stand together. Our Congress must learn to serve us, the people, instead of the rest of the world. How are we going to fix it? You all want me to give you a special plan that's going to fix it? One step at a time. I can give you a few quick examples. One, all congressmen and senators will no longer carry federal IDs. They are not federal employees. They are employees of the state. Senators represent the states. Congressmen represent the people from the districts within the states. They will be issued state IDs, identifying them as congressmen and senators of the United States federal government. Here's one example. So every time they look at their ID, it says this state, these people, not a political party. Nowhere will their ID identify them by political party. Secondly, their pay will no longer come directly from the federal government. Yes, the federal government is required to compensate them, but it doesn't say how. It will be placed into a trust fund within the state to be issued and paid to each senator and congressman through the state. So they know that you, the people from your states, are paying for these congressmen and senators. It's not going to change the amount, it's going to change the direction so that they know who is paying their salary. Not the political parties, but you, the people, from each and every state. There's two right there. Examples. How are we going to boost our economy? Well, first we got to understand what the economy is about. Creating new wealth. Not moving money around from point A to point B to point C and then moving around again from point C to point D, then back to A, then to B, then to C, and whatever. That is a service economy. That doesn't create new wealth. A manufacturing economy creates new wealth. They take a product of a certain value, and by manufacturing it into something else, it becomes more valuable. Thus, that difference is the new wealth created. That we need to bolster in this country. Our tax system is so out of balance, so misguided, and so overburdened onto the American middle class that it is ridiculous. That needs to be changed and correct. I suggested a sales tax. How about Social Security? How about Medicare? Look at your paycheck. Does the government take out your payments to Medicare? Does your government take out your payments to Social Security? They are insurances you are paying for in agreement with the federal government. They are not entitlements. Therefore, the government, by law, is required to pay you what is stated in Social Security when you started into Social Security or Medicare. Those are not taxes. Those are actually payments. They like to call it taxes because they want to slip it into entitlements. But it's not an entitlement. It is an insurance program that you pay with the federal government so that you will have these available when your income drops and you no longer work and you need a medical insurance. Whoa! Never looked at it that way. Trusting God. Look for the truth. That's what we're talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Should we interfere with other nations that don't interfere with us? Why and how come? Explain that to me. I have no concept why we went to Libya or Iraq. Now, I understand Afghanistan. They attacked the Twin Towers. They didn't want to give up bin Laden and his group. Hey, that's fine. You declared war on us. We will finish it. And that's something to remember. You don't want to declare war with me. Because I'm only out to win. I don't play games. And I love to cheat. That I could promise anybody who wants to go to war with me. I don't play games. I'm only out to win, and I love to cheat. And that I will do. I'm not going to tell you what I do. I'm not a fool like somebody else. This. But do we have the right to go into Syria? No. Do we have a right to go into Iraq? No. Did we have a right to go to Libya? No. Why? Because each country has a right to exist as the people within that country decides how they shall exist. Not the way we want them to exist. Let our Congress try to fix this nation first. We will do it step by step. You notice I mentioned several different steps. And that's what this is based on. Don't ask me how I'm going to fix everything, because I am not going to do it. We, together, trusting in God and doing our very best as a people and a nation, will fix this nation. This is your country. This is your government, not the Republican government, not the Democrat party government, or any other political party government. It is yours. And they must start learning to serve you, the people. This whole video is nothing about politics, though. I'm not going to point out what's good or bad about the Republican candidate or the Democrat candidate. I don't have to. It's all in the news. If you can't read the paper, you can't watch TV, you don't see the media, I'm not worried about it. I am going to point out what we need to do. And you notice it's we. It's never I. We as a people must join together as one. We as a people must join together and direct our Congress to function as we, the people, wish. Get our federal Congress going the way we, the people, wish. The rest will follow. I don't care what animal you choose, what entity you choose. You make the leadership take a certain path, the rest will follow. Same thing goes with your state and local government. And there is a big problem. The federal government's trumping all over the state's authority. Why do we have a state governor? Why do we have state congresses? Why do we have state capitals even? If the federal government's going to do everything and make everything identical. Can't be. Each state is a different state made up of different people. Now, education must be standard through all the states so that all can see. And don't say education's not in the Constitution because it's in the preamble. Isn't there a statement that says provide for the common defense? Don't you need a high school diploma to go in the Army, to go in the Navy, to go in the Marines, to go in the Air Force? Well, or equivalent. If you don't have that, you can't provide for the common defense. You can't assist in providing for the common defense. So therefore, because the preamble says provide for the common defense, the federal government is responsible to see to it that each and every citizen has available the minimum of a high school diploma or equivalent. That's written there in plain English. Now, what can I tell you? Unions, I hate them. But they are a necessity, just like I hate the flu shot. Oh, I hate the flu shot dearly. If I could get out of it, I would get out of it. But look what the result is if I get out of it. The flu. Look what the result is if we get rid of unions. Greed at the upper echelon like it is now, and even worse. You got greed even in unions now. This all started when the trickle-down effect was stated, because it didn't trickle down. And the unions couldn't do nothing about it because they were losing their power. So unions, though I hate you, I support you more than you realize. Probably a lot more than you realize, because without you, the working class would be nothing but slaves to the upper echelon of this country as it's headed towards. So yes, you are a very, very viable shot of anti-greed that our nation needs. You are there to protect the people. Keep it that way, because that's what you're needed for. If there wasn't so much greed, we wouldn't need unions, but greed is there. Trust in God. That's what this is all about. Trust in God. And then get off your duffs and get out there and do something. Because we can fix this nation. We can do it, but not as this one fighting that one, and this one fighting that one, and this one fighting that one, and those killing these, and these killing those. Now, I have a strong respect for the United States military. They go into a war zone. But understand, when they go into a war zone, it's shoot first, ask questions later. If you shot the wrong person, well, that's collateral damage. And that's the way a war is. Now, I have a high respect for the military because I was in the military and I've been in and out of war zones. But you know who I have the most respect for? The policemen. First thing is, most soldiers don't make good policemen. They make very bad, because they are trained and brainwashed to shoot first, ask questions later. And we're seeing the results. Innocent people are dying. Policemen cannot do that. He's not allowed to do that. He should never even be accepted for that. Because a policeman must ask questions first, and the last resort, not the first, the last resort, is to touch that gun. So he has to put his life in danger to evaluate a situation. Not walk up there, pull the gun out, and start shooting, like we have seen in a couple of videos. I mean, a guy standing there shaking and yelling, that guy's going to shoot. He has no idea what's going on. He's out of control. Policeman who shot the psychiatrist who was working with one of his clients that was sitting in the middle of the street. Why? Because he didn't ask the questions needed. He shot first. He didn't really look to see what was going on. That cannot be tolerated among our police force. And that makes their job super hard. Very, very difficult. And they who do that job right must have the respect far beyond that of the military, because they are required to put their life in danger before they touch that gun. That's what a policeman is. Not a soldier. And when you start mixing soldiers in with policemen, you end up with the mess you got. So we got to respect everybody. Bring everybody together. Because we, as a people, can make the United States of America the best nation in the world. And then you say, what about the illegal immigrants? They're not paying taxes. They're not this, they're not that. And I say, let's go to a sales tax. 100% sales tax. Everybody gets a rebate. Illegal aliens got to let us know where they are for them to get their rebate. If they don't let us know where they are, they can't get the rebate. They pay more in taxes. But if they let us know where they are, then we can take their check, go to their house, say, hey, here's your check of $1,200. Let's go to the airport. Get your plane ticket. Give you the rest. Have a nice trip home. But if they don't let us know, then they pay that much extra in taxes. That much more. Everybody in this country should be paying a sales tax. Every single person. every single organization, including churches, including everything, to make it fair and equitable for all. Churches may not like it, but, I mean, even Jesus said it. Render unto, and in the way he said it, he didn't say render unto God, then render unto Caesar. He said render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, then render unto God what is God's. And that's the way it should be. But you got to ask God for guidance. You got to ask the Creator for help. You must trust in God and then take the action that he directs. Because if you sit there and do nothing, you will get nothing. So, how are we going to fix this country? How are we going to fix this country? Together. One step at a time. You and I. That's the only way. I cannot do it alone. I will not even try to do it alone. I will not even claim to be able to do it alone. But we, with our Constitution, shall succeed. We shall have the country that the United States of America, our forefathers, dreamed of. But only us together shall it be. We shall have an economic system so strong it will be envious among the world, as it once was. Which means there'll be changes in some of our treaties. For example, Chevrolet puts a car together in the United States, fine. Puts a car together in Mexico, you're going to be paying a lot more for that car. Even though it's the same model. At least Chevrolet's going to be paying more. Because that car was not manufactured in the United States, it did not create new wealth. Taking all those parts that have a value, put it together to a vehicle, that now created new wealth. But it went to Mexico. Mexicans all down there. I have no problem for equally sharing it. You build a car in the States, you build the same car in Mexico. The car in Mexico goes around the world, the car in the States goes to the States. That I believe in. That I will accept. I will not accept. No longer building a car in the States, we build them all in Mexico and ship them to the States. Yeah, we give truck drivers jobs, but that's all we do. Most of them are Mexicans. And there's nothing I got against the Mexicans. I got nothing against anybody. But you, the American people, must be served by this country, by the government. For the federal government of the United States of America is there for one purpose. Read the preamble. All 6 promises to the preamble. The only purpose of the United States government is, and I'm going to read it to you, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, in order to establish the Constitution of the United States of America. That's the only thing our government's for. It must follow those guidelines, those rules, as set forth by the preamble in the Constitution. The rest of the Constitution tells us how to do those promises. So basically, I'm telling you all, praying is great. You're asking the Creator for guidance, for help. But when He gives it to you, you must get up off your duff and do what He asks or requires of you, or nothing will happen and we will continue with exactly the same as we have for years. And how far back can you say that? Think, when did you hear the expression trickle down effect? It did not happen. That's at least that far back, if not further. When we trusted in God, when we acted ourselves by the guidance of God, we were a great nation. Right now, we are hurting, but it's up to us, you and me, to fix our nation. Can we do it? Trust in God. Ask God for guidance. And we together shall fix our nation one step at a time. That's it. I've described some things. Those are just the beginning of what needs to be done. The very beginning. So imagine how much work you and I have. And we got to do it together. But pray, ask God for guidance, trust in God, and let's work together as a people and fix our nation. Thank you. This is JD. And please pray for our nation, trust in God, and walk through that door that He has opened for us. Thank you. Have a nice day.